For decades, investigators searched crime scenes for what criminals left behind. A fingerprint on a surface, a footprint in the ground, a piece of evidence hidden somewhere in plain sight. The physical world was where investigators searched for answers. They examined rooms, they collected objects, they followed trails left behind by human actions. But today, the crime scene has changed. Because some of the most important evidence may no longer be found inside a room, a vehicle, or a hidden location. It may be found inside something almost everyone carries every single day: a smartphone, a device that stores conversations, records movements, captures memories, and quietly documents pieces of a person's life. Every message sent, every location visited, every photograph taken, every search performed, every online interaction creates a trail, a digital shadow. And while many people believe technology allows them to erase their actions, investigators have discovered something very different. Because in the modern world, every criminal leaves a digital footprint. The idea of a digital footprint sounds simple, but behind those two words is an entire world of evidence. A world where investigators no longer search only for what someone physically touched. They search for what technology recorded. A person may leave a building without anyone seeing them, but a security camera may have captured their movement. Someone may claim they were somewhere else, but their phone may tell a different story. A suspect may delete a message, but other digital records may still reveal that a conversation happened. A person may believe they have disappeared, but the devices around them may tell a completely different story. This is the invisible crime scene, a place that cannot be entered, a place that cannot be photographed, but a place where investigators often find the answers they need. Every day, billions of people create digital information without thinking about it. When someone sends a text message, a record is created. When someone uploads a photo, information about that file can be stored. When someone uses a navigation app, their movement may be recorded. When someone makes a digital payment, a transaction history is created. When someone connects to the internet, they leave behind traces of their activity. For most people, these records are simply part of modern life. But during a criminal investigation, these ordinary actions can become extraordinary evidence, because investigations are often not solved by one massive discovery. They are solved by connecting small details, a single message, a single timestamp, a single location, a single mistake. Imagine investigators examining a case where someone disappears without warning. At first, there are more questions than answers. Where did the person go? Who was the last person they spoke to? What happened during their final hours? In the past, detectives would rely heavily on physical evidence and witness statements. Today, they may begin by looking at something much closer: the person's phone. Because a smartphone has become more than a communication device. It has become a digital record of human activity. It can show patterns, connections, movements, and moments that happened before anyone realized something was wrong. Investigators may examine call records, messages, photos, videos, applications, and location information. They are not simply looking at a device. They are trying to reconstruct a story. A phone does not speak. It does not explain what happened. It does not tell investigators the truth by itself, but it can provide pieces of a timeline that answers important questions. Where was this person? Who were they communicating with? What happened before an event? What happened afterwards? A single device can contain thousands of moments from someone's life. And when investigators organize those moments correctly, they can begin rebuilding the past. A message sent at one time, a location recorded minutes later, a photograph created in a specific place, a device connecting to a network. Each piece becomes part of a larger picture. The phone becomes something investigators never expected, a silent witness. But digital evidence is not limited to phones. The modern world has created cameras everywhere. Outside buildings, inside stores, along roads, at entrances, near homes. A person may believe nobody saw them, but a camera may have captured a small part of their journey. A vehicle passing through an intersection, someone entering a building, a person walking down a street, a moment that seemed insignificant at the time. But when combined with other evidence, it becomes important. Investigators often use these recordings to reconstruct movement. They compare camera footage with phone information. They compare timestamps with witness statements. They compare digital records with physical evidence. One piece may not reveal much, but several pieces together can tell a story. This is how modern investigations often work. Not through one dramatic clue, but through connections. A detective may begin with a question, then find an inconsistency. That inconsistency leads to another question. That question leads to another piece of evidence. Slowly, the timeline becomes clearer. A person who claimed they were somewhere else may have a digital record placing them somewhere different. A message may reveal a connection that was previously unknown. A photograph may contain information hidden inside the file itself. A simple online action may reveal a moment someone thought nobody would notice. Technology has changed investigations because it has changed human behavior. People leave traces everywhere, even when they do not realize it. Investigators and forensic specialists can analyze devices, records, and systems to understand what information remains available. They may examine file details, digital histories, account activity, metadata, connections between devices. The goal is not simply to find information. The goal is to understand what that information means, because evidence without context can be misleading. A location alone does not tell the entire story. A message alone does not reveal every truth. Investigators must carefully examine the bigger picture. Digital evidence has transformed criminal investigations, but it has also created new challenges. Because technology is powerful, but it is not perfect. A phone may belong to someone else. An account may be accessed by another person. A piece of data may be misunderstood. A digital record may require additional evidence before conclusions can be made. That is why investigators cannot rely only on technology. The strongest investigations combine different forms of evidence: digital records, physical evidence, witness accounts, scientific analysis, human judgment. Technology provides information, but investigators provide understanding. The most fascinating part of digital evidence is not the technology itself. It is what the technology reveals about human behavior, because criminals often make the same mistake. They focus on what they remove. They think about the messages they delete, the devices they throw away, the accounts they close, but they often forget about everything they leave behind. The camera they walked past, the phone that recorded their movement, the payment they made, the account they logged into, the digital connection they never considered. They try to erase one piece, but they forget there may be hundreds of others. In the modern world, everyone leaves behind a digital shadow, a message, a photograph, a location, a search, a connection. Most of the time, these traces are simply part of everyday life. But when a crime occurs, those same traces can become something much more. They can become evidence. They can become answers. They can become the missing pieces investigators need to uncover the truth. The crime scene is no longer limited to a physical location. It exists everywhere technology exists. And as the world becomes more connected, the evidence criminals leave behind becomes harder to escape. Because people can hide their actions, they can create false stories, they can try to disappear. But technology remembers, and sometimes the smallest digital footprint becomes the evidence that reveals everything.